Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another broadcast of the Lawrence Report. On tonight's broadcast, we will be discussing episode 4 of Found. Now, I told y'all about something special at the end of episode 3, which I'm going to save for later because I felt like my spider sense was right. But as we can see in this episode right here, we automatically get a flashback of a young Gabby with Sir, and he's quite upset that she didn't do the assignment that he asked her to do. So at the same time, she has these books, whatever, that she's supposed to be reading, and she doesn't read them. So he says, like he always does, well, if you don't do what I ask you to do, that means you don't get no dinner that night. So she's going through these books, and a note falls out. This note is actually from another missing captured person, which was a complete bombshell that nobody expected. The little girl that was missing, her name is Annie. And then we fast forward to present day, where the team is, together. I believe they're at Zeke's place and they're bonding. A lot of times in these jobs, especially the job that Gabby and her team does, you need that time to just, go out and bond and hang out with your castmates, I said castmates, but your fellow co-workers, your teammates, And on this episode right here, we do find that this episode is about basically a family that is going through a messy divorce. And the kid is caught in between the mess. His parents are fighting, he's arguing. The kid is named Matthew, he's a 13-year-old child. And, for a lot of most kids, are trying to find a way to escape, right? Just to get away from, the arguing all the time. And one of the places they thought that would be a safe haven for him was going to be the church. But unfortunately, we find out in this episode that he's not necessarily a big fan of the church. He's more into video games. I'm wearing a shirt right now, one of my favorite video games right here. As you can see, Metal Gear Solid. So like for most 13-year-old kids, they're looking for escape, and his escape is, the digital world, which would be video games. So his parents, they contact Gabby and her team, and they set out on this adventure to try to find Matthew. And while they're doing that, they're navigating everything, trying to gather their leads and all those good things. And they do discover, one way he has been communicating with a lot of people is through, his Game Boy type system. And they end up finding a young kid by the name of Tony. Now, Tony is going to be the prime suspect in this situation right here. But as I was saying, his parents, they are, they're going through this messy divorce. We find his parents at the police department, and again, they're still arguing, and the argument was so bad that the mother went into a mild heart attack. So that was a lot to endure right there. And we also see that, while they're arguing, these parents, they're praying to God, hoping that God is going to return their son, Matthew, back to them once and for all. And like I said, Tony, who happens to be basically the prime suspect in this case right here, we find out that Tony has actually been groomed by some human traffickers. So Gabby and the team, they end up getting Tony's, can't talk right now, they end up getting Tony's address, and they go talk to his father, figure out, what's been going on with your son. Have you been seeing any erratic, strange behavior? And the dad said, yeah, I've seen some, and I'm hoping that you can, return my son back to me. So they go up to his bedroom, and, they're ripping the bedroom apart, trying to find, any type of clues, anything of that nature right there. They do find a clue, unfortunately. We find out that Matthew and Tony are actually at like a Holiday Inn type thing. And they, Gabby and her team, they go there and they investigate it. And, while Gabby knocks on the door, before she eventually busts in. And we see Matthew and Tony, in this room together. Matthew is, tied up, crying because he's scared. He's been abducted from his parents, and Tony reveals that he says, "Well, they made me do it." Keep in mind, I told you earlier that Tony has now been considered to be, he's played a key role in this human trafficking thing, and the goal was to try to human traffic little Matthew here, and as they escape the hotel room, unfortunately, the human traffickers are nearby, and they start shooting at Gabby, Matthew, and Tony. And unfortunately, Gabby, she was able to cover little Matthew, but Tony unfortunately got hit. And remember what I said on the previous episode, in episode 3, I said that every episode is not going to have a happy ending. Everybody, unfortunately, whenever you're getting human trafficked or whatever the case may be, everybody's not found to be safe or to be found alive. And the situation right here, we saw, Lord, can't talk. We saw Matthew. He was found safe, but unfortunately, Tony was struck. He was struck by a bullet. And Gabby and her team had to let his parents know that unfortunately your son, he ended up getting hit by the bullet, unfortunately. And of course, Tony's dad is enraged. He's highly upset. He's angry. He goes completely berserk on Gabby, and Gabby takes it personally. She's heartbroken that she couldn't save Tony, unfortunately. So Tony is now pretty much in a coma, and back towards the end of the episode, we see Gabby just going all out. She's angry, she's frustrated, she's breaking like dishes, throwing things, and it's just an emotional mess for her. So very interesting episode. Like I said, we have another big plot to this with this new character named Annie. We find out that Sir actually captured someone before Lacey and Gabby. So now it's like 3 people he's captured, and that's another big web that we are going to find out as the season progresses. Like, who was Annie? What's her background story? Like, how did Sir, or why did Sir want to kidnap her? Like, what's going on with that right there? So that was a big bombshell that I'm interested in learning about right there. If you like what you saw today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And if you guys are watching Found on NBC, please drop your comments below. I would love to know what you think about the show. And as always, thank you for tuning in to The Lawrence Report.